Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm John and I regularly post video tutorials here on YouTube to suit all abilities. Today we're going to be looking at People Are Strange by The Doors. It was written by Jim Morrison and Robbie Krieger and appears on the band's second album, Strange Days. It's a relatively simple song and we'll be looking at the chord progression and also a nice little instrumental that's played over the third verse. I've also made a play-along video of the song in order for you to practice with, which I will link to in both the card above and also the video description below. So grab your ukulele, make sure you're in tune and we'll get started. But just before we do, if you do find this tutorial helpful, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. It doesn't cost you anything, but it really helps me with making more of these video tutorials moving forward. If you'd like a PDF copy of the song sheet with the lyrics and the chord boxes and the tablature for the instrumental verse, buy me a coffee, see how to do so in the video description below and I'll email one over to you. Alternatively, join me over at my Patreon page where all my video tutorials and accompanying PDFs can be found in one place. This can also be found in the video description below. The song is in the key of E minor and has a swing feel and effectively just has 4 chords. An E minor as per the diagram below, an A minor as per the diagram now, a B7 chord which can sometimes be swapped out with a B major chord, but for the sake of this tutorial we'll just stick with the B7, and lastly in the choruses we also get a G major chord now shown. We're going to be using a couple of different strums for this song, and the reason for this is that in the verses of this song the chord changes feature something that is often referred to as a push. A push is where the chord change comes slightly earlier than where we would expect it to. This might be on the final beat of a bar or similar. In the case of this song, in the verses we have a lot of split bars that are sharing 2 chords. Normally these chords would share the bar evenly, each taking 2 beats. The first chord taking beats 1 and 2, and also the ands or the up strums associated with those beats, and then the second chord would take beats 3 and 4 and any associated up strums as well. In the case of the verses of this song, the first chord does take beats 1 and 2 and also an up strum between these beats, but we actually change to the second chord on the up strum after beat 2 instead of changing on the normal beat 3, so hence early, a push. So the strumming pattern we're going to be using for the verses is down, up, down, up, up, down, up. And where we have 2 chords sharing the bar, we're going to change to the second chord on the up strum after beat 2, or the second down strum in the pattern. So if I demo a couple of bars sharing an A minor and an E minor slowly, we would have a 1, 2, 3, 4. In the chorus there's no split bars or pushes, so for this we'll just be using a down, down, up, down, up, down, up pattern. So if I demonstrate this slowly over a B7 and a G chord, we would have a 1, 2, 3, 4. For the chords, during the guitar solo we could also use the same pattern we've just looked at for the choruses, but I will often just switch out to just 4 down strums per bar here to allow a little more space for the solo instrument. The song starts with a 3-note melody pickup line with a B at the 2nd fret of the A string, then the A string played open, and finally a G at the 3rd fret of the E string, before landing on the E minor chord on beat 1 of bar 1. Note here that because it's 3 quarter notes and we're in 4/4 time, the first note of this pickup is played on beat 2. So if I was counting us in, I would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and then play the 3 notes on beats 2, 3 and 4 of the pickup bar, landing on an E minor chord on beat 1 of the first bar. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So now we're into the first verse where we'll be using the down, up, down, up, up, down, up strumming pattern and pushing the chord changes in any split bars on the second up strum of this pattern. The verse is made up of just 8 bars, and in bar 1 we have a full bar of E minor. In bar 2 we have a split bar of A minor and E minor. In bar 3 we have another split bar of A minor and E minor. And then in bar 4 we get a split bar of B7 and E minor. In bars 5 to 8 we just repeat the first 4 bars again. So with the count in and the pickup we would have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. People are strange when you're a stranger. Faces look ugly when you're alone. Women seem wicked when you're unwanted. Streets are uneven when you're down. The chorus is where we're switching to the down, down, up, down, up, down, up strum pattern, as there are no split bars or pushes here. The choruses are 8 bars long, and in bar 1 we have a bar of B7, in bar 2 a bar of G major. In bar 3 we go back to a bar of B7, but we only strum 2 down strums on beat 1 and 2 of this bar. Then for bars 4 to 6 we repeat those 3 bars again, so B7 in bar 4, G in bar 5, and B7 in bar 6, again with just the 2 down strums again. And then for bars 7 to 10 we just stay on B7 throughout. So the chorus would sound something like this. When you're strange, faces come out of the rain. When you're strange, no one remembers your name. When you're strange, when you're strange, when you're strange. In the final bar of the chorus, there's also a linking pickup line that leads us into the next section of the song. This is now a 4-note line played on each beat of the bar, and like the intro in the first verse, has a B at the 2nd fret of the A string, then the A string played open, then the G at the 3rd fret of the E string, and finally an F sharp at the 2nd fret of the E string. So, this leads us into the second verse of the song, which is identical to the first verse, so I won't demonstrate this again. After the second verse, we get the guitar solo. Unfortunately, we don't have the range on a standard C-tuned uke, or even a low G-tuned uke for that matter, to be able to play this correctly. A baritone ukulele just about has the range for this solo, and I might get round to making a tutorial for this at some point in the future. I've recorded the solo on a baritone ukulele in the play-along, so you can hear what it would sound like there. So the chords during the 8-bar solo are literally just 2 bars of B7, 2 bars of E minor, 2 more bars of B7, and then 2 more bars of E minor, except we only really play 1 full bar of E minor and then play a single stop strum on beat 1 of the final bar. As I said before, I generally just play down strums throughout this section, maybe with the odd up late in the pattern, to allow space for the solo instrument. So something like this. A 1, 2, 3, 4. After the solo, we have another chorus, which is the same as the first, so I won't go over that again now. But again, in the final bar, we get that same 4-note linking pickup line that this time takes us into the instrumental verse, which can be played on our standard C-tuned ukulele. If you want to just play the chords through this section, it would be the same chord sequence as for the other verses, but for those of you that do want to learn this relatively simple solo, here is the tablature. For bar 1, we just stay on the E string throughout, and we play 8th notes on the open E first, and then an F sharp at the 2nd fret, and then the open E again. Next we play the G at the 3rd fret, but this is a quarter note, so holds over into beat 3, and then we play the open A again, which holds to the end of the bar. So, in the second bar, we play 3 8th notes on the A string, firstly the open A string, then the B at the 2nd fret, and then back to the open A string again, and the rest of the bar is identical to bar 1 on the E string. So bar 2, the 3rd bar is identical to the 2nd bar again, so, and then in the 4th bar we stay on the E string with 3/8 notes, firstly at the 2nd fret, then the 3rd fret, then the 2nd fret again, and finally we play a quarter note on the open string, and then play the open string once again to hold to the end of the bar. So bars 1 to 4 slowly with the pickup at the end of the previous chorus would be. In the 5th to the 8th bar we're effectively harmonising what we just played, and we do this by plucking and pinching 2 strings at once, which effectively gives us 2-note chords, or partial chords. This technique is often referred to as playing double stops. In this case, we do this by plucking down on the string nearest our face with our thumb, and picking the other string in the tab, mostly the E string in this case, with our index or middle finger at the same time, like so. So, in the 5th to the 7th bars we're playing the same rhythmic pattern as bars 1 to 3, but this time we pinch both the G and the E string open, then we pinch them again, but this time fretting both strings at fret 2, then we pinch them both open again. Next we pinch the same 2 strings, but this time with the G string fretted at the 4th fret and the E string at the 3rd fret, and then we finish the bar by pinching them both open once more. So, in the 6th bar we pinch both strings at the 5th fret, then again at the 7th fret, then again at the 5th fret, then we pluck them both with the G string fretted at the 4th fret and the E string at the 3rd fret, and finally we pinch them again open. So, in the 7th bar we repeat the previous bar, except we add one more pinch of both strings fretted at the 2nd fret on the and after 4 that hold over into the first beat of the final bar. So, in bar 8 we pinch the same strings again, still fretted at the 2nd fret on the and after 1, and then this time we pinch the 2 outside strings with the G string open and the A string fretted at the 2nd fret 2 more times. Every pinch in this bar is played on an offbeat, so on the and after 1, the and after 2 and the and after 3. This can be a little tricky to think about, so possibly better just to try and feel the rhythm of it. So the 5th to the 8th bar of the instrumental verse slowly would be. And the whole instrumental verse slowly with the pickup. After the instrumental verse we get one more chorus, but this time we don't play the last 2 bars of B7 but stop to sing the final word strange, and then we have a final B7 chord, which I tend to play as an arpeggio of the B7 shape we've been using throughout. So hold the chord shape, pick the A string nearest the floor, then the E string, then the C string, then I quickly change to this B7 shape and strum down on the chord, which gives us this high B note at the top of the chord. So, you now have all the chords, several strumming patterns and the full arrangement for People Are Strange. I'll link to my play along video for you to practice with, both in the card above and the video description below. Be sure to hit the like button if you found the video tutorial helpful. and don't forget to subscribe for more ukulele content. Let me know in the comments if there's another song that you'd particularly like to learn next. If you'd like a copy of the song sheet with the lyrics and the chord boxes and the tablature, buy me a coffee. See how to do so in the video description below and I'll email one over to you. Or alternatively, join me over at my Patreon page where all my tutorials and accompanying PDFs can be found in one place. The link for this can also be found in the video description below. Thanks for watching and bye for now.